There's something different about everybody. What they do, what they say, how they act, and how they change. But everyone's got different sides to themselves. This presentation will show 3 people who have kindly volunteered to show their different sides to a curious public. Hi, my name is John Bacher, and with the help of my partner Rachel, we will show you the various sides of these various people. Let's start with person number 1, Ben Vogler.
When I first started playing Xbox, I tried out Halo 2 and I really liked it, and then I jumped into the first Halo, and because it had gotten great reviews, and it was for $20, so I thought, okay, try it out, and I've been kind of addicted ever since. You know, it's kind of like it was a revolutionary game to start out with, and since for about the last 10 years that it's been out, it's really been kind of just a fun thing to play. The campaign for me personally is a lot of fun. I just like the gameplay better. You know, I don't like 2 shots and you're dead. I like, you know, just running around and being able to pop a guy a couple times.
Right.
And, you know, it's a lot more fun than just like, you're dead, you're dead. You know, it's a lot more slow, and it's much more patience, really. I've always actually asked myself, why did I like this game so much? And, you know, most people would be like, oh, you don't really ask yourself that. But in all honesty, I actually was always curious why this game was so interesting. So I think it is a combination of gameplay, just because of its revolutionary, I can't think of the word, but it's just really, it looks really great, just graphics-wise. Every generation's really improved. The aliens, I mean, this isn't just like, okay, let's go to war with other humans. This is like different weapons. You could fight against people or aliens or, you know, mutant dudes. I mean, it's really it's just really interesting because it's not just your everyday thing. You can go from going like around a bunch of people that you may know that are all humans, and then just go into a world where, you know, this isn't just like real life. This is kind of like an interesting new. The character itself, I mean, Master Chief is a renowned icon in the video game industry.
Yes, he is. He is awesome,
and he's just a silent badass, basically, as I've heard it said, and I completely agree with that. You know, he's just that guy with the deep voice that barely talks. You know, and I think now that video games are really starting to develop into like more like in-depth, like, what's the word, campaign play. They're really giving more of a side of just, okay, this is a dude that you're going to play as, and you're just going to shoot a bunch of people. That's what it used to be like. Now it's more like, okay, you're dealing with Master Chief's in-depth like history. You're really dealing with his personal feeling and just like how the other characters kind of interplay. And granted, there's still a lot of shooting. That's the fun part of the game. I mean, you want to blow crap up. You want to blow a tank up. You want to run around and be like, oh, hey, let's go 150-0 and just destroy everything in front of me.
I cannot argue with that logic.
You know, so it's a lot of fun. They're so different but so similar all at the same time. You know, when I was young, me and my friend, we really were into it. I'd go over to his house and we'd play in the yard and we'd shoot each other, and when one would kill one another, we'd get really upset at each other and shoot each other from point blank range and leave some pretty good welts, and both of our moms would be really mad at us. But into airsoft guns into particularly for, I would say, about 10 years. I mean, since I was about 10 years old, I was always interested in it. You know, I mean, the interesting thing is being a kid, you're intrigued by everything. You really want to know about everything. You see your dad shooting a shotgun, which is really loud and exciting, and you might play a video game with some guns. You're like, okay, I want to do this. I want to play around with this. But you don't really want the whole, I'm going to blow your head off with this kind of aspect. So I guess airsoft is kind of an interesting thing, and paintball too, because of how, you know, you can shoot one another and it doesn't hurt as bad as losing an arm. I started off with Nerf guns, as everybody does, I think. I mean, our in particular generation really did really love Nerf guns, and I think the next generation too is going to be really into it too. My brother is a huge advocate of Nerf guns. He's got a sniper rifle now, apparently, which is really cool and can shoot across the house and everything. I mean, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I started off with Nerf guns, like I said, and then I got into, I kind of went really far forward. I went into pellet guns, like the metal shooting, like BBs and all that, and then I jumped kind of into paintball and really got into it around 16, 17 years old. And I got really good at it, and then just recently I actually got into airsoft, like actually doing it. Even though I did say that I did it when I was younger, I mean, I got into it like with my friends, but I never really did it a lot. But lately I've really got into it, like you want to get, like, you know, really good things and everything like that. And I've had a shotgun my whole life, like pretty much since I was about 15 years old. Like when you're younger, you don't really think about airsoft guns. You're like, oh, I want an AK-47 because it'd be fun just to go shoot around in the yard. But then you kind of think about, oh, if I shoot at the neighbors, it might kill them when you're older. So I mean, personally, I would want
that would tend to put a strain on your neighbor's relationship.
I feel like you wouldn't be very liked with weapon and evolution and like age and everything. I mean. I kind of jumped into guns early. My dad was really into jumping on the gun situation, just so then you're not more curious about it when you're older and it's more dangerous to you. He wanted me to always respect them.
Yeah.
With airsoft guns, I can say that like I've looked into some expensive guns that like they're about $150 and they can shoot up to 500, 600 feet per second and they're like automatic and they're very powerful and each one of them will leave a very serious bruise on your arm. With real guns in particularly, like, I could never say that I want to buy an assault rifle unless we're at war with somebody or something like that. So I can say maybe a hunting rifle at the most, because I don't own my own hunting rifle at the moment. I have a couple shotguns, and that's just for running around with the friends on a Saturday night drunk as hell, just shooting at anything you can find in the woods. I can say that in certain situations, definitely a progression in the need for more advanced weapons, but in certain circumstances, I mean, they just don't really seem like you want to go further, really.
Right.
I mean, paintball's paintball. You have the same kind of guns from the start to beginning. There's obvious changes. Certain things are stronger, higher PSI for paintball guns and things like that. So, and I can say that I kind of jumped just straight into the more advanced stuff from an earlier age. So I can't really progress any further than where I'm at, really, with that. So.
Next, we move on to another person who has two very interesting sides to himself. The person in question is my older brother, Kevin Bacher, and the two sides I'm about to describe are so opposite that it just makes him perfectly. The two sides I'm speaking of are his work and his hobby. My brother works for Marathon Oil, and he's been working there for about a year. He enjoys the business environment, networking, problem solving, behind held accountable. He started in May 2011, and his business interests will lead him to a productive and successful future. His job is a great way to spend time, and it really helps keep his mental state sharp and growing. The other side of him is he's a cage fighter, and he is very good at what he does. He enjoys all aspects of fighting, the training, the conditioning, the mental and physical aspects. He also started this back in May 2011. He's been fighting for about a year. And for him, fighting is a really good hobby. It keeps him in good physical shape, and it's something he's very proud of doing. He's won many matches, and despite the fact that he's come to work with at least one or two bruises, maybe a black eye, he still manages to make it work for himself. And now we move on to our final person, Rachel, who is going to tell us about her homework side and her book enthusiast side.
When I'm doing homework, I usually have my books and my papers spread out in front of me, and my laptop is usually sitting next to me. With the internet open, usually Tumblr or some other sort of social networking site where I can waste a lot of time. The amount of time I actually spend doing homework is probably far less than the amount of time I spend avoiding it, putting it off, going online, getting up to get something to eat, talking to random people who are walking past. I am one of those people who will do anything to avoid doing my homework until it gets to be 11 o'clock and I realize it's due at midnight. When I'm reading, I'm usually very focused and I'm very into the book I'm reading. Any distractions or anything that's going on around me, I don't notice it. It's very opposite to when I'm doing my homework. However, if you do happen to catch my attention or try to catch my attention to talk to me, I will glare at you. Because if I'm reading, I don't want to be talking to you because I'm reading a book, especially if it's a good book. So basically, if I'm reading, leave me alone.
Well, there you have it. Different sides of three different people. We hope that this shows that no matter what side you have, the gamer, the studier, the fighting enthusiast, you should never be afraid to show who you are. Everyone is interesting in their own way. and you should never be afraid to show who you really are. This is John Bacher and Rachel signing out.